right? And I'm going to teach you another trick. Once you get into capitalization and you start dealing with equity income, mortgage income, land income, and building income, now you draw this. Instead of one triangle, you draw three triangles. The first triangle deals with land. The second triangle deals with building. The third triangle deals with the overall rate. So if you get some whacked out question that says the income to the land was X amount, you come to land and you plug in income for the land right here. And then if it says the rate for the value of the building was $400,000, you come over here and plug in $400,000. And then if it says the overall rate was 8.5%, as long as they give you something from each one, you can do the mathematics, divide them in, and you can solve any question that they're asking for in the equation just by drawing these through three. They call this the triad system and the pyramid system. This was developed and implemented by a past national president, Mike Lang Sr. And we are, ASA, we're in the process of re-releasing that and updating those books. That's good. If you're seriously going to get into a larger multifamily commercial, that's a great course. That's a great course to take.
Can you show those triangles again, please? It's a bit too quick there.
First one's land. The second one is building. And the third one is overall.
Okay, thanks.
And this will only be applicable based off of the type of question that is asked and what they want you to solve on it. I know this is I don't have to show you this, but this is kind of like one of the things I like to do is I like to show appraisers because when you come to the formulas on here, it gets if you're not a whiz with your HP12C or your Texas Instrument, not everybody works with 6 functions of a dollar all the time, and it can get a little confusing. Or sometimes it's just best to do it like this and get through it. So you'll notice on page, you'll notice right here, and also on page 82, that the formula for the derivation, well, how you get develop the overall capitalization rate is value equals net operating income divided by the rate. Okay. Now look at the triangle. Your net operating income right here divided by your rate is going to give you value. That's how that works. So sometimes when you're looking at it on the screen in a formula, sometimes it's a lot easier by just drawing out triangles. All I'm telling you is that really helped me. I took that income, there used to be 4 income capitalization classes. And it was 201, 202, 203, and 204. And you have to have each one as a prerequisite to go to the other one. And I showed up, and this was 1988. So I was only a full-time appraiser like 2 years. And I ended up going in the 2.3 class, 203 class. And the instructor who invented this roadmap system, he wasn't teaching that then. He didn't develop the course. He was teaching it off the old way, Elwood and Inwood methods and Ackerson, and I'm talking pages of keystroke calculations. And he said, as long as a 15-question exam, he says, as long as you show me the correct keystrokes or the correct steps, if you made an incorrect input, I'll give you partial credit. Anyway, long story short, that was the only test I ever failed in my life back then. And he says, Tom, he says, I'm working on a course, and when I'm done with it, come back and take it and go through all of them. And I did that. And once I did that, it all clicked out, and it was nice, and it made sense. It was a lot easier. So that will be coming soon. All right. So with cap rate, it depends on the quantity and the quality of data from comparable sales, from effective gross income multipliers, from the band of investment, which is your mortgage and equity components, band of investment, land and building components. That's why I drew the 3 triangles, because one deals for the land and one deals with the building. Then even further is your debt service, followed by your discounted cash flow. Now I don't do a lot of discounted cash flows anymore. In my prior bank job, I used to have to do it, but we had an in-house software program that did our discounted cash flow. So I would be hard pressed to do one and explain how all that works right now. So I can't help you there, but I seriously doubt, based off of talking with Greg, I don't think any of this stuff I don't think this capitalization is on your exam. So, but nonetheless, we're going through it. So the capitalization rate for debt is the mortgage constant, and the capitalized income is the equity dividend rate. Overall rate has to satisfy both the mortgage constant requirement and the equity dividend rate for the equity investors. If you look at on the bottom of 83, it shows you the debt portion, 80%. So if you have a debt portion, what do you think the other part might be or might not be? So if you got 80% equity, then you got 20% on the other side on the debt portion. All right. So let's look at the final case study. Final case study. Oh, well, let me skip. Hold on a second here. Activity 2. All right. Before I go to this, everybody know how to get a cap rate? 2 ways, right? Band of investment or through your ERV formula, right? Band of investment or your ERV formula. And the ERV formula is by far the simplest way to do it, which is this: net operating income and over your overall capitalization rate from your value. So this is the easiest way to get it. So activity 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. All right. How quick? We are getting there. Market rent averages 23 to 27 a square foot. Triple nets, 5-year lease arrangements, renewal periods at escalated rents, which are typical. All right, we talked about that. There you go. Vacancy and credit loss at 5%. Legal and accounting fees are $750. Roof and replacements are $5,000 a year. The rate established by Van of Investment is a 10% capitalization rate. And activity 2 is the subject's proposed lease at market. At 25, it certainly fell within the $23 to $27 range, right? This was 25. We're right in the middle of the range, so it is at market. With a triple net, what cost would the landlord still be expected to pay? It would be all expected to pay to legal and accounting, replacement reserves, some cases management. All the other would fall on the tenant. So that would be your taxes and your insurance, that type of stuff. And that is good. That's going to help us get to the net annual income. Calculate the value by the income approach, capitalization approach. So you had a worksheet on 84. I'm assuming you all did that worksheet on 84, and you were able to easily plug in everything here as I'm showing on the slide. You have your 10% vacancy and credit loss. So you arrived at your effective gross income. Remember I said you got potential gross income minus vacancy and collection to give you your effective gross. Now you're taking your fixed and your variable expenses and you're deducting them. So this case study said 750 was legal and accounting. Replacement reserves was 5,000. But look at what it has here. See, taxes, insurance, snow removal, upkeep, lawn care, and utilities. All tenant pays. Yeah, that's the advantage of that triple net lease, because the owner of the building doesn't have to pay that. So our total fixed and variable expenses are $750 plus $5,000 for a total of $5,750. We take that off of the effective gross income, gives us our grand net operating income, $39,250. We divide that by the 0.10% or the 10% capitalization rate, gives us a value of $392,500. Simply, let's round it to 393. Some appraisers would round it down maybe to 390, depending what their other approaches to value said. Pretty straightforward operating income statement on here, but it clearly shows you the effects of a triple net lease and how that's applicable. It shows you how distinguishes the difference between potential gross income, effective gross income, and how you arrive at your net operating income. Any questions, comments, concerns? All right, you guys are awesome. All right, and then we have the cost approach in 5 steps. Get the value of the land, cost new of the improvements, depreciation, to get depreciated value of improvements, and then add the land value back in. And another, again, reiteration, replacement cost is the cost at current building materials equivalent to the building being appraised using modern materials and current standards, design, and layout. And accrued depreciation. This is accrued depreciation is a sum of all causes of depreciation: physical, functional, and external. That's your accrued depreciation. They say it's the difference between an improvement's reproduction and replacement cost. Yeah, versus and its market value. That essentially is the same thing, but saying it a different way. So if we take the cost manual, saying that a 2,000 square foot building with average is at $105 a square foot. Our parking lot is $2 a square foot. Our sign at front is 2,500. Landscaping is 10,000. We have our local multiplier for where this particular property is located. And we showing our depreciation age life factors, 2 years effective age with a 50-year remaining economic life, saying there is no functional obsolescence or external, and that the lot value is established being at $85,000. How can you calculate depreciation using age life? Well, we know that. That's 2 divided by 50 gives us 4%, right? Simple, simple. Calculate the value by the cost approach method. So we take 2,000 square foot by 105.67 to give us 211. We add in our sign, our parking lot, our sign, and our landscaping for total replacement cost of 263,840. We're going to multiply that by our multiplier of 1.18. That's going to increase that to 311,331. Drop the decimal. We're going to apply our depreciation of 4% to that to give us 12,453, which is going to get deducted from that replacement cost new of 311,330 to give us our depreciated cost of 298,900. We're going to add the land value back in at 85,000, gives us 383,900. We round that to 384. So we have through the cost approach 384, and through the sales comparison, through the income approach, we're at 393. So we got 393, 390, 394. So now we look at our 3 approaches. We have income approach is 393, cost approach is 384. Our sales comparison approach was $340,000. Now we have to reconcile what value are we going to come up? What is carrying the most weight? What is our thought process here? Now they're saying, well, we kind of like 370 because we're relying on a sales comparison and an income approach. And if you look at it, you know, you got 340 and you got 390, 70,000, 370s. Not quite the median point. It's maybe it's the let me add these up here. Maybe it is the mean. I don't know. I didn't add them up. 340, 393, 366.5 is the mean average. It likes the sales comparison approach and the income approach. I would probably tend to agree on that. And I think that is that. And that's why it's important that you reconcile and you explain your reasoning on it. Now, theoretically, your value could be anywhere in here. It depends what data do you think is the strongest data on here to arrive at. Any questions on this particular example? All right. Well, you did the quiz, so let me buzz through the quiz here. Anybody have questions on the quiz? Well, look at that. Can you believe it? It is 3:58. I think this is pretty good. I end up 2 minutes early than the allotted time and covered 403 slides. Thank you. I think I'm patting myself on the back, especially since this is the first time I've gone through and actually taught this to anybody, so
The timing worked out great, Tom.
thank you. Yeah, yes, it did. So anybody have any questions about anything? All right, if not, it was very nice to meet everybody on this Zoom refresher session today. And I wish you the best on your exam and obtaining your DAR. It's exciting times. So good luck with everything, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. If you're cramming or studying and you got a mental block, email me, and I'd be if I'm available, I'm more than happy to help or walk you through something. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Tom.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so your exam is set to start at 4. Did you guys need a 5-minute break before you start? Okay, go ahead and take a 5-minute break, come back at 4:05, and then if you need me to do the walkthrough of the exam, on Inspira, sorry, just let me know.
All right. I'm
I
jumping
feel
off.
like you guys have been through the walkthrough a couple of times, so I'm pretty confident you guys know what you're doing. If you're ready to start now, those of you who didn't sit in the Zoom session, then you can go ahead and start now. Just make sure your cameras are on. And good luck, everybody.